Namaste everyone, welcome to Thinking Bridge podcast. And in today's session, we have with us CA Piyush Gupta. आज हम इंटरेस्टिंग फील्ड के बारे में बात करने वाले हैं जिसके बारे में रिसेंटली हमारे पास इतने डाउट्स आए हैं कि पूछो मत. सो फील्ड है कॉर्पोरेट एंड इंटरनेशनल टैक्सेशन. पीयूष का एक्सपीरियंस के बारे में हम पूरा सुनेंगे. पीयूष ने अपनी आर्टिकलशिप भी CIT यानी कॉर्पोरेट एंड इंटरनेशनल टैक्सेशन में करी है एंड करंटली ही इज वर्किंग विद वन ऑफ द टॉप फर्म्स in the CIT field only. So over to you, Piyush. Thank you so much for doing this, first of all.
Thank you for inviting me over, Pooja. Thank you for inviting me here in Thinking Bridge. So I'll just start away with how my CA journey has been. So I started my CA journey in 2017. I appeared for CA Inter in 2017, and I joined my articleship in 2019 because I was doing regular college. So that is when I could join my articleship. So for the first year, I joined my articleship with a Delhi-based firm at the ASN Associates LLP in corporate and international taxation only. So I only wanted to go into direct taxation since my CA inter, because the way the teachers used to teach us about taxation, that you know very intrigued me into the field, and I was very interested to go into taxation, direct taxation specifically. So I did hustle a lot for getting into direct taxation for my articleship, because I'll tell you why. In audit, there are a lot of vacancies available with majorly all the firms all across the India. But in direct taxation, there are limited seats because, you know, people go to the office, they come back to home. So there are limited seats available, and the teams are also limited in direct taxation. So it was a bit tricky to get into direct taxation, first of all. So talking about my journey in corporate and international taxation and articleship, it has been very great, and I'm very privileged to do corporate and international taxation as a practice, because you know, it opens up a lot of horizons for people, because as you know, each and every individual, each and every company, each and every organization, trust, political party requires direct taxation expert for them. So every person out there requires their direct taxation to be explained to them, a professional who can explain the intricacies into the direct taxation field. Then from my second year, I moved on to a Noida-based firm, AHSG and Co. That period was also in my direct taxation majorly, only 90% in direct taxation only. And then I appeared for my final exams in 2022, and I recently cleared my chartered accountancy exams in November 2022. And I sat for my campus interviews, and that is how I got selected into the top CA firm. And I'm currently doing my job as a fresher in corporate tech and international taxation law.
That's a wonderful journey. So, Piyush, before we head right into the conversation and explore the technicalities of this field, I want you to share maybe one or two learnings from your CA journey that would that would really help others and that stayed with you personally.
So my biggest learning was that at the very first moment when I was in 12th standard, I did not want to pursue chartered accountancy. I wanted to go into, you know, a big fancy college and get my MBA from a great college in India or abroad and to settle in life. So my destiny took me towards CA, but जो भी लोग सीए कर रहे हैं, I have this one suggestion for you: do it very passionately. CA will give you a lot more than you can think of. CA will give you the recognition and the respect that you'll thrive for all your life, and it gives you a name, it gives you a personality, it grooms your personality. And the very basic thing that CA has taught me is about passion, perseverance, and patience. So these three P's I've learned in CA, because I've also flunked in one of my attempt in CA finals, and that taught me that, you know, boss, CA is not just a piece of cake that anyone can have. You have to go through it. You have to go through the struggle, and then only you'll get the, tag CA before your name. So, but it is an honor. It is an honor to have CA before my name. I really say that.
Definitely. In fact, I mean, every year thousands and thousands, dream to get this very coveted tag.
Correct.
So, congratulations and happy that you achieved your dream, and now we are here recording the podcast. So,
correct. Yeah, it has been
I think we can So, Piyush, I think now we can move our conversation towards the direct tax and corporate tax or like international taxation field. So, सबसे पहले बात करते हैं, what is this field about? Corporate and international tax. For example, for a layman like, okay, I am a layman, right? So, explain this corporate and international taxation domain to me.
Okay, so there's this direct taxation domain, and it says that whatever income you are earning directly, which is, covering your wealth part, and you have to pay tax on it. That is very basic tag that you can put on direct taxation. Now, direct taxation has different, legs to it. It has individual taxation, it has corporate taxation, it has NR taxation, that is non-resident taxation, or we can combine it with international taxation. There's transfer pricing, so it has also different legs to it. Now what the major global firms are doing is that they are separating those legs into specialized fields. So there's a different field for individual taxation, there's a different field for corporate taxation and international taxation combined, and there's a different field for transfer pricing also. In some firms there can be transfer pricing included in international taxation. Now we'll come towards corporate and international taxation, how corporate and international taxation works that I'm working in. So all these corporates around, first we'll talk about direct taxation. All these corporates in India, they have to pay taxes on their income. That is very said. Every CA student or every layman also knows that, knows about it. So every corporate is paying tax, but tax in itself is a very tricky subject. You have to study law, you have to interpret law, you have to be abreast with all the changes that are coming into the law. The budgets are coming, the notifications of circulars are coming, and then there's assessments also. We'll talk about it later. So now coming to the international taxation part, how international taxation moves. So I'll just quickly give you an example to give you an idea of how international taxation goes. Let us take an example of an airline company. The airline company is suppose located in England, registered in England, headquartered in England, but it is operating across all the globes. It has flights, routes across all the countries, and it is taking up passengers from all across the countries. So how will you tax that airline company? Because it has income from every each and every part of the world. So that is how international taxation comes into play, and you just cannot say that भाई इंग्लैंड में रजिस्टर्ड है तो इंग्लैंड में टैक्स देगी. नो, दैट इज नॉट हाउ इट गोज इन डायरेक्ट टैक्सेशन. यू हैव टू हैव अ सोर्स डॉक्यूमेंट फॉर इट, व्हिच डॉक्यूमेंट सेज दैट कहाँ से आ रहा है, कैसे आ रहा है. सो I always say that for international taxation, you have to be very well versed with, your domestic taxation. क्योंकि what domestic tax laws talk about, then only you can go to the international taxation. So international taxation, you can say it is a very broad part of direct taxation, because each and every country has its own demarcation how it will tax different corporates. So that is how it goes.
That is a pretty interesting introduction about this field of direct taxation. I want to talk about the qualifications or the experience that is required to get into this field. Sure, you are from CA background, right? I understand that one can get into the CIB field. I am a CA dropout, so I know that there are ample opportunities if anybody wants to get into. But are there opportunities for people who are just graduates or maybe MBAs? So is this a very vast field, or only specialized people like CAs or CS, or people pursuing law, they pursue specific law, right? Tax making, they specialize in that. So what kind of people actually are part of this interesting field?
Okay, so what, as per my experience, what I have seen is majorly chartered accountants are working in this field, or even lawyers are working in this field. Big law firms are also, covering corporates for this field. When we talk about graduates, yes, they can come into this field for, a certain period of time that they want to learn about this subject, how this subject goes. And if they find it interesting, then they can pursue some, specialized courses that big MBA colleges offers in international taxation also. I've looked on internet. I don't know how authentic they are, the articles, but they do say that some MBA colleges also provide specialized course on international taxation. But if we talk about India, what I have seen is majorly chartered accountants or lawyers are, operating in this field, because at the end you have to handle assessments for them. The people do have income tax notices at their hand. They want to get away with it, so it will require a degree for it, so that you can fight that case. You can represent the client for that case, so it will require that degree. So you'll have to have a chartered accountancy or a lawyer's degree to pursue that particular client or particular case.
That's interesting. So very specialized and very niche based field this is, right? Unlike other fields like FP&A, because this morning only I was, doing one podcast about the FP&A profile, and I discovered that it's such a vast field. So, क्या बोलते हैं, CA का बोलबाला है भाई direct taxation पे.
See, what I'll tell you is कि कर कोई भी सकता है, कंसल्टेंसी
हाँ,
कोई भी दे सकता है,
right.
but it limit your dynamism that you can put into it. So you have to give client each and every answer for every question that they ask. So you cannot say, "भाई ये assessment आपका open है, sorry, I cannot handle that case." You have to hire a CA for it.
Yeah, you have to provide them with end-to-end solutions, right?
Correct. So that is why these major firms hire chartered accountants or lawyers too, so that they can provide holistic solutions to their problems.
Right. So moving further, I want to talk about this very interesting question, जिसके बारे में मतलब this is probably everybody's favorite question. भाई salary कितनी मिलती है? So what are the salary ranges for a fresher, for a mid-level senior, or for a person who's like really advanced in their respective career? So what is the like salary brackets for the different stages that a person goes through?
Correct. As per recent market trends that I can tell you, that I have observed during my campus interviews too, what I saw is that if a person has, direct taxation experience in their CV, and they want to pursue that direct taxation only in a law firm or a consultancy firm. So what you will get as a CA fresher is around, if I put a range on it, then you can get around 9 to 12 lakhs per annum, which is a decent payout that these major global firms are paying to hire a CA who has experience, at least some experience in direct taxation. And when we talk about if you gain some experience, like you have 3 to 4 year experience, 5 years experience, then it grows exponentially, because you become an expert in that field. People know you by your name. Ki, hi, there's this person who knows this, who has worked in this industry, who has handled these many, Fortune 500 companies with their cases. Or so I'll just give you an example. There's this one person, I'll not name him, but he, I had an opportunity to work with him during my articleship. So he's known by his name ki, bhai, there's this person who has done such brilliant work for a client advising, and that client was very happy with him. So people know him by his name ki, bhai, corporate and international taxation, okay, this is our guy. So he has grown exponentially in this field. So there's no limit that you can put on it. But just as a fresher, that I can tell you, 9 to 12 is a decent payout that you will get when you are a freshly qualified chartered accountant and want to pursue your profession in direct taxation.
Right. And like maximum कितनी salary range तक कोई पहुंच सकता है? Is there a number? Can we really put a number to it?
I cannot put a number to it as of now, but yes, once how I see is as how you grow as per the hierarchy. Once you become a partner in a big four or top global firms, when we say, so it is a very lucrative offer that I can say. It is very lucrative. So many people have that charisma that they want to reach that level, and we also look up to our partners that how many years of experience they've put in, how many hours of reading, researching, studying they've done to get to that level, and they're getting a very good pay, I'll say.
Right. So Piyush, now I want to talk about the skills that a person requires. We've talked about the qualification. Now I want to switch the conversation towards skills. Are there any specific skills that a person must have if they plan to pursue a career in corporate and international taxation?
All right, I'll start from the very basic from articleship, that how you can get into articleship for direct taxation. So I'll just say people who want to go into audit, one of their, point is that they want to travel across the country or across the world so that they can, go to client places and have, fancy hotels for their stay and
Fancy
fancy
meals.
food and right, and have their work done around it. I'll tell you, direct taxation is um, very nearly opposite to it. You have to travel to the office only every day. Subah jao, in evening you are back, and you have just the traveling that you'll have is from the office to the income tax department or to your home, and then it is a loop, it is a circle. So this is the majorly traveling that you'll have. Yes, your teammates can take you for client meetings and articleship also if you have good camaraderie with them and you are working very good for a client, so they can take you for client meetings. But majorly that is all travel you'll get. Now when we'll come to the skills part, what I'll say is ki, if you are genuinely interested in direct taxation, you'll have to be okay with the fact that you'll have to keep reading. There's no you know finding a solution for it that you don't
Or
want to study.
shortcut.
You'll have to do your research work. You'll have to do, you should know how to interpret law.
Hmm.
I always tell my trainees that through my experience, that finding a case law on taxman or tax sutra is as much an art as drawing a painting. Because when you tell a facts to a person कि भाई हमारे client पे ये facts relevant है, ये section relevant है. So I'm just giving you an idea how direct taxation works. So
Yeah.
when you are handling assessment, so you have to refer to some case laws that has happened before it. So when we tell them कि भाई ये facts हैं, ये section relevant है, we give them time कि भाई तू इतना time दे, just find me a good relevant case law is facts के around. And
Hmm.
by the time that they take and the quality of the case law that they can refer to, or they can find, we can easily tell that if that person has worked in direct taxation or not.
Hmm.
So it is a tricky part. I'll tell you, I did not study with so much focus in my CA finals that I study now with a client work. So there was this client I was doing an advisory for. So all my work was related to research part for the first 2 days. कि भाई आप अपना research करो कि इस facts के around आपको relevant case laws ढूंढने हैं, relevant advisories ढूंढनी है, relevant articles ढूंढने हैं. And I studied for 2 days straight for that client, and it was when I was thinking about it, I never knew कि भाई इतना focus से you can study in CA finals also. So you have to keep studying for direct taxation. That is a must. I'll say that is one skill that you'll require first of all.
Right. Uh, any hard skills, any soft skills that you would say are needed for this profile?
Correct. So when I was preparing for the interviews, and I also take interviews for trainees now when I hire them for articleship. What we look for is communication skills, and now communication can come from two aspects. First is your technical confidence, that you are how sound technically you are, and second is your personality. So what we require is good communication skills in a person when we hire them for direct taxation. I'll tell you why. Because you have to present a case in front of different level of officers. So there might be a day when you are presenting in front of a commissioner of income tax, and he's asking you for the facts. Now how clearly you can present those facts in front of that commissioner comes from how good your communication skills are. So that is one skill we really strive for, to hire a person into direct taxation. And second is technical confidence. Now if a person is very technically sound in a regarding direct taxation, so you can easily tell by the questions you ask. You'll just put out a section that just interpret that section for me, and the way he or she interprets that section, we can easily tell if they have good technical grasp over that over income tax or not.
Hmm. Right. So communication skills, definitely research skills, right?
Right,
Should
right.
be bang on if you want to excel in this career.
Correct, correct. I'll say that. I'll really say that.
So let's talk about the challenges that you face on a day-to-day basis in your job. So that people who are watching and who are looking forward to make a career, they can be at least aware, okay, these are the challenges that, so that they can prepare themselves basically.
Okay, so the major challenges when you are, when there's this return season going on, this is the challenge that I have faced. You have so much of deadlines and so much of pressure on you that you have to prepare all those returns for these clients, and you have a certain target set that the team's target is set ki by this day itne clients ho jane chahiye, by this day itne clients ho jane chahiye. So that is one challenge ki you have to work around the deadlines, and that is how every professional works. That is not new for a direct tax guy. So that is how audits go, that is how tax goes, that is how FDDs also go. You have certain deadlines. But for direct taxation, what I'll say is you'll get, exhausted by the, amount of knowledge that you have to research on. Sometimes your mind will just stop processing things and you'll just say, just give it up. I can't, go ahead with this. So you really get exhausted. But I think that that is the same in each and every profession, because, we are a professional guy. We have our days, we have our highs and lows. So that is one challenge. Apart from that, I don't think that there's any challenge that I've faced in this domain.
Right. But like, is this really a challenge, but an opportunity to really push your boundaries also, right? So I think
That
that
is one opportunity,
people,
yes.
people who get
I'm
into
sorry,
direct tax or so I was saying people who get into international taxation, I think they want these challenges. They want themselves to be challenged, and they want to dive deep into
deep
the
in.
the territories of taxation and explore them.
Correct, correct. So I'll also, to give an idea of direct taxation, how there are three major phases of my field, corporate and international taxation. First is compliance part. So
Hmm.
all the returns, all the forms filing come in the compliance part. Second is litigation part, where clients face their assessments and they get their income tax notices. They have to work their way around these notices. Third is advisory part. So people, are also some people say that compliance अच्छा है, litigation अच्छा है. Some people say कि नहीं यार advisory अच्छा है, AC में बैठो, आपका client आपको advisory दे रहा है, you get big money. And some say कि नहीं यार litigation is fun, you get to meet different officers, you get to meet different people all around the day, कुछ नया आते रहता है. So I'll say कि direct tax, maybe there's so much to look at ki there's no monotonous things happening around. If you get good advisories, if you get different cases to handle, so I'll say it does not get monotonous for you. But yes, it has its challenge in the way that when you have deadlines on you and you have to work around and schedule your day accordingly. So there comes this opportunity that you can really thrive on ki I have handled this work in this much period. So, and people also recognize you after that. Busy season is over. People recognize your work that
Hmm.
yes, person has done good work. So they also award you in different ways.
Hmm. Uh, Appreciation for the work is really important for
It
people to
is
stay motivated at work.
correct. It is very important.
So Piyush, are there any tools that you use on a day-to-day basis? Is it Excel or is it the government income tax portal? And like what for international taxation? What are your go-to tools and softwares that you use on a day-to-day basis?
Okay, so Excel is just a set कि आप भाई professional हो. Excel is very basic. You have to have the knowledge on Excel because client data आता है. What how our Excel works is भाई client आपको data भेज रहा है कि if an assessment is going on कि भाई ये मेरा data है. Now you will have to put your filters in that data. You cannot just present that data in a raw form to a tax officer. You have to put in your filters क्या data relevant है, क्या data relevant नहीं है. And
Hmm.
when we talk about softwares that we use, so what has seen in big major global firms is that they do not use a relevant software for income tax returns filing. So all the Java softwares or the return utility that is available on the income tax portal, we just use that Excel utility or a Java utility. So
Hmm.
I personally haven't used any return filing software in my life, in my career. So now the major part that we rely on, major income tax major sites that we rely on are income tax website, that is the e-filing portal of the income tax website. From there we do the all the compliance for the client. Then there's TDS portal, traces portal of the income tax department for our TDS compliances. Then there's income tax government site, which has its acts, rules, circulars, notifications, DTAAs, the double taxation avoidance agreements, and all the major updates that work around international direct taxation. Sorry.
Hmm.
Apart from this, there are you know firm specific softwares that we have to use, but that is relevant for the firm that you are working in. That is not
Hmm.
relevant to the direct taxation part.
Right. So पीयूष, एक सबकी ना शिकायत होती है टैक्स एज अ सब्जेक्ट से, इतनी अमेंडमेंट्स आती है, इतनी अमेंडमेंट्स आती हैं. सो one, how do you keep yourself updated with the latest amendments that keep coming and keep coming, they don't stop? And how fast does the implementation happen? For example, like कोई amendment आया है, definitely, then how do you like educate yourself? Like, okay, keeping yourself aware is one thing, but how do you educate yourself and implement that into the work that you're doing?
So I'll tell you my way of how I work around those things. So what I feel is that you cannot, straight away jump to the amendment part ki bhai kya amendment aaya. You have to have the knowledge of the basic tax law, that what the fundamentals of the laws say, and then you have to work around the amendments that are coming in through the circulars, notifications, or our finance act, that is the budget that is presented on yearly basis.
Hmm.
So what I suggest my trainees to do, also to do, is that I just whenever they are, I think that they are not very busy with the client work, I just give them a section or give them a set of rules to research upon. कि भाई, you work on this section, you work on this rule, just give me information of what the section says or what the rule says, so that आप भी educate हो और मैं भी educate हो at the same moment. So now whenever any amendment that comes into the play on that section, you can just read the amendments and interpret it, what it says, and what is the basic idea behind that amendment. So
Hmm.
if you can get the basic sense कि भाई ये amendment क्यों लाया गया है.
Hmm.
So whenever our budget is also presented, our finance minister also gives out a reason कि भाई पहले ऐसे होता था, this
Hmm.
was the challenge that we were facing, and this is our new amendment part.
Solution.
So
Yeah.
if you understand the basic intent behind bringing out that amendment or bringing out that change, then you can easily work around those amendments. And yes, there are changes on periodical basis. I won't say daily, but frequent basis. So what you have to just do is just take out 1 or 2 hours in a week, or in 2 to 3 days, and just keep researching on your even an artisan has to keep uplifting his skills to be at his game. So you are a professional, you have to do that. Giving out 1 or 2 hours in a week, I don't think that it is a big challenge for us. So I usually like to read stuff. I usually like to read laws, interpret laws. So I really enjoy doing that.
Right. So what advice would you give to a person who's planning to pursue a career in corporate and international taxation?
Uh, okay, so should I tell from the articleship perspective or the fresher perspective, a chartered accountant
Both,
perspective?
both.
Both.
We can
So
talk
for
about
the
articleship first and then after qualifying.
correct. So for a CA student who is looking to go into direct taxation, I'll say read direct taxation not just as a subject, read it as a novel, that you have to read it with interest. You cannot just learn it and go in the interview and say, "भाई मेरे को direct taxation में interest है." The interviewer will catch कि no, there's no interest. He has just learned that.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't say कि you have to study the act as is and go at the interviews. I'll just say that have an interest in direct taxation, do some research, and work around the basic income tax updates that are coming from time to time. Because in interviews, what we look for is how updated the person is, we do not look for technical soundness when we look for an article that we are writing. We are just looking for their interest in the field. So
Hmm.
we can tell if the person is interested, if they are very much updated with the amendments or the changes that the government is bringing into the play.
Hmm.
And when we talk about a CA fresher, so you are a qualified now, you are a chartered accountant before your name. So I'll say that you have to be a bit technically sound to go into direct taxation, because the interviewer will keep challenging you with different questions on that same section or the same thing that you've put in your resume. So he'll keep advancing the level of his questions as you move around the interview. So at one moment you'll think I should give up, I should not give a judgment on what he's asking,
Yeah.
but that judgment might be the thing that that interviewer is looking for. Ki,
Hmm.
suppose he'll give you out a case कि भाई ये facts हैं, ये section कहता है. So you
Hmm.
cannot say कि भाई A भी हो सकता है, B भी हो सकता है. You cannot keep it in gray area. You are a chartered accountant. You have to give an opinion, and you
Correct.
should back that opinion. So that was what happened with my interview when I was interviewing with one of the firms.
Hmm. Right.
And as I said, that communication and confidence is one skill that we really look for, be it articleship or be it a CF fresher.
राइट सो आर्टिकलशिप लेवल पे क्या काम करते हैं जो कॉर्पोरेट इंटरनेशनल टैक्सेशन में कोई आर्टिकल ज्वाइन कर रहा है तो उनको क्या काम दिए जाते हैं बेसिक लेवल वाले बिकॉज आई बिलीव लाइक आफ्टर क्वालिफाइंग द काइंड ऑफ वर्क द काइंड ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज यू हैव इट चेंजेस एंटायरली बट व्हाट अबाउट आर्टिकलशिप लेवल
So for the very first few months, 2 3 months, what I'll be very harsh with my words, but you'll be very busy with printing out documents, because in direct taxation you have to print loads and loads of documents. There you have to keep filing different documents with the tax offices. So I'll be very harsh with my words, but please bear with those 2 3 months in the very starting beginning of your articleship. That is one difficult part of being in direct taxation. But after that, when you learn from those day-to-day interactions that you have with the other professionals, so people start giving you basic work, like भाई returns filing करनी है, उसके लिए कोई form prepare करना है, you prepare that form. या they'll ask कि भाई do some research work, कोई case law पढ़ो, कुछ ये करो, do some different, or we'll ask you to go out to some different taxation offices.
ओह
So correct. So what happens is कि there's this client जिसका कोई assessment open है, and you have to file certain documents with the income tax officer or the income tax inspector. But that is also one skill, कि भाई how much knowledge you want to give to that income tax inspector when you are going to file a document with him. Because there's a chance that he'll keep asking you different questions, and you're just a trainee. I've also been there. You're just a trainee. You are a bit scared when you're facing those persons. He's an income tax inspector after all. So that is one skill that you'll learn from those interactions that you'll have. And as you keep advancing through your articleship, I was fortunate enough to get different advisories also when I was doing my articleship. And advisories are really fun to do, and very you gain very much knowledge when you are doing an advisory. And litigation all part is also very interesting when you are handling different assessments for a client. And compliances are there. So compliances are anyways the bread and butter of a consultancy firm or a professional firm. So compliance part is a said whenever you are entering into direct taxation.
Right. Very interesting, very extensive work exposure, I would say.
Right. There's a lot to do in direct taxation, but I'll suggest when you are entering into articleship, please bear with those 2 3 months. That is what I have seen. People, give up on the fact that भाई हमसे printing ही करवा रहे हैं, कितने कागज print करवाओगे, अब इतना नहीं हो पाएगा.
Hmm.
That is the challenge. After that, you'll see कि you are advancing into the field.
Definitely.
Right.
So thank you so much, Piyush. It was lovely interacting with you. मुझे बहुत सारे insights मिले, and specifically like corporate or international taxation may not just the technical aspects, but the softer side of things, like specifically focusing on your communication skills. So loved having this conversation with you. Thank you so much for your time, and
Thank
I
you for having me over.
yeah, I would definitely, love to invite you for future conversations surrounding this topic.
Sure, sure. I'm very open to, being here, very open to being here and give all that I can. And I'll just say I'm a newbie too into this field. I'm a freshly qualified chartered accountant, and if I might have said anything that is, contrary to people's fact or not correct, what people think, I duly apologize for that. But I'm very open to any help that chartered accountants want or our students want. You can reach out to me at any time, and I'll be more than happy to help you in any way that I can.
That's very, very sweet of you, Piyush. Thank you so much once again for doing this. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you. Thank you, Pooja.